Hey everyone, Dash Attack here. And yeah, I think this video is probably going to get me in trouble. Possibly. Okay, so we're going to be using Bounding into Comics again, because there really isn't many alternatives. I know I've been very critical about how they've been talking about homosexuality in some of their articles, but there really is no other, place where you can get all this documentation on, what happened. Anyway, here's what did happen. The art director of Silent Hill 2 and the creator of Pyramid Head was attacked for retweeting Matt Walsh. Yes, that Matt Walsh.
What's your opinion on anime? It's really popular amongst teens and young adults. I think it's all satanic. I have no argument for it. I have no argument for why it's satanic. It just seems that way to me. All anime to me seems weird, just like bizarre, creepy. And in general, I don't think that adults should be, whether it's anime or any other kind of cartoon, with rare exception, adults really shouldn't be watching cartoons in general, I would say.
Now, I have some strong disagreements with Matt Walsh. I don't really like him. However, I don't think Masahiro Ito even knows who Matt Walsh is, or just how, the extent of his social politics. Anyways, let's get started to the meat of the article. Silent Hill series art director Masahiro Ito has found himself accused of bigotry by transgender activists for simply retweeting Matt Walsh's definition of a woman. The discourse surrounding the veteran video game artist's opening began on March 9th when Ito RT'd Twitter user this person sharing 4 subtitled screenshots from Matt Walsh's 2022 appearance on the gender pronoun debate episode of Dr. Phil, wherein the Daily Wire personality debates LGBTQ advocate Addison Rose Vincent regarding the proper definition of the word woman. A female is a human female. Walsh can be read telling Vincent, as quoted by in the body of the respected Twitter, the adherents of gender ideology cannot even define the word they wield. They have only privatized the word woman and fashioned it into a changeable costume. In follow-up, it would also retweet a reply in which fellow user, it would be nice to live in a world where people with gender identity as female, male are accepted as human beings without prejudice, or on the assumption that the definition of gender is not broken. Discrimination and prejudice are different from distinction, they argue. The locker room issue is also a strange one because it attempts to break down the definition of men and women. If we make distinctions, then accommodate people with different gender identities, there will be no problem. So yeah, that seems like a very modest position, a very moderate thing. Unsurprising, these retweets would quickly find the man behind Silent Hill series' infamous pyramid head design in the crosshairs of Western's more vocal transgender activists, as they took his 2 tweets as evidence that he was supposedly transphobic. One of the first to press the issue, who was inquired on his first retweet, I know the politics are different in Japan and US, but I hope this RT doesn't mean that you are opposed to the rights of trans people. It would make me sad if you oppose the existence of me and people like me in public, especially since your work is so meaningful to me. Realizing the context of his retweets had been lost in translation, he bluntly questioned his critic, don't use Google Translate. Also read the thread in Japanese. Very sorry if I'm misunderstanding. Before going on to ignore his request and continue pressing him in English, I can't speak Japanese, so I'm using the automatic translations. They say the pics below are my understanding of what was said. Additional apologies if I jumped the gun. I got worried because Matt Walsh is a theocratic fascist who's very bigoted. Understandably annoyed, Ito responded, "Don't use automatic translator and read the thread. If you can't read Japanese, please remove." Following this brief interaction, the frustrated Silent Hill art director proceeded to vent. "I retweeted the two tweets as the definition of the word woman, but many Westerners who can never understand Japanese and the context still despise me, laughing my ass off. Of course, I'll block all of them." From there on, Ito would attempt to provide what context he could for his tweets, asserting, "I really don't know who he is in the image of the tweet. The point of the tweet that I retweeted is the definition of the word woman. Nowadays, many people use the word as an arbitrary in Japan." He elaborated, "A woman actor was attacked on the net the other day, only a reference to the backlash faced by Ai Hashimoto over her opinions that public facilities should be separated by biological sex, but she was not wrong." Of course, Ito's examination did little to quell the fiery backlash that had already built up against him, as Western critics continued to accuse him of transphobia unabated. One user begged Ito, "Can you please explain in English your stance on trans people?" To which the artist explained, "In the first place, I'm not transphobic, fuck. You can't, I'm not a transphobic, fuck. You can't get around any kind of transphobia." Another Twitter user equal representation is important. Maybe the reason trans rights bother you so much is because you're the one who is educated on the matter, which is okay. You're allowed to be in a position to learn from others. Likewise, people are too willing to overlook that he is siding with an actress who made a transphobic comment about trans women in bathrooms. Frustrated by his critics, in response, observed that it was really weird to see people advocate for being positive and polite act so rude. Their attitude makes me think that, in fact, they don't have any interest in LGBTQ and just want to attack someone who they don't like. Facing a deluge of such bad faith attacks and discrimination, Ito would eventually offer a frank statement regarding his stance on the issue. "Just to clarify, I'm not transphobic," he began. "Transgenders should be treated equally like cisgenders. Also, my point is to create a society where LGBTQ females and males live together equally." "It seems like retweeting the Matt Walsh misled you," he acknowledged, "but I did it as one of the context about the definition of the word woman, that is all." Continuing his thoughts in Japanese, Ito further clarifies, "I personally do not have a clear answer on the definition of male-female, but the goal must be to create a society where LGBTQ women and men can live equally. However, in order to make an inclusive definition that takes into account the complexities of gender identity, I feel the number of words used to describe male and female is too large to be complete. I always use LGBTQ because of the sake of convenience or for character limit," he concluded. "But when we talk about the definition of male-female, people tend to forget the existence of non-binary. I think it's not enough to bring only two words, male and female, to that point." Okay, so that's the end of the documented drama. He got, attacked for semi-agreeing with Matt Walsh. I'm sure he's not the first. But, anyway, there were some comments saying he caved. And no, I think he was just redefining that he isn't a bigoted. He wants equality for people. He's just like the words man and woman, the definitions, there's this whole, it's a whole, hot pot. It's really controversial in the United States. It's the whole reason why the whole Hogwarts Legacy thing happened, is the definition of men and women. Should there be any distinction? It's it's something I don't think this channel is equipped to get involved in. I mean, it's just whenever someone is getting harassed on Twitter, like I did recently over some comments I made about a Marvel thing, I'm always going to take the side of the person getting harassed, unless like they said something like really really bad. I'm always going to take the side of the harassed, and even then, I don't believe in like harassing and dogpiling people. Anyways, very controversial story, very hot topic thing, but as a fan of Silent Hill 2 and as a fan of what this guy brought to the Silent Hill franchise and who's really pumped for that remake, I'm I of course I'd rush to a video to defend him on whatever his stance is. Cause I really don't think he is like he does seem like he has knowledge on like the LGBT spectrum and stuff. I don't think him as like a bigot. I mean, and anyone who's played Silent Hill 2 knows that like, the game has some really dark themes and like gender is like played on in James's nightmarish landscape. There's a lot of like, the sexy nurses, for instance. There's a whole like subtext about like James's feelings on women. Yeah, it's really deep stuff. Really, really deep stuff. If you haven't played Silent Hill 2, I recommend playing the original. Because, I do think the remake might be extremely faithful. But, like, you should play the original anyway because it's the original. Get a PS2, play Silent Hill 2. It's great. It's one of the best horror games ever. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I'm so glad to have such a diverse audience. I do know I have gay followers and I do have transgender people that follow this channel. And the fact that I have that support makes me feel really good because it feels like I can just talk and feel like, you guys like what I have to say, that you guys want to hear what I have to say. Thank you all so much. And please like and share this video, ring the bell for notifications, help me get to 500 followers. We're so close. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Have a great day.